Well, good morning, good evening, and good night. Welcome to Visual Disturbance. Let's get into this daily what ifs. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here once again here for a daily what ifs program on Visual Disturbance channel. If it's your first time here, share, like, subscribe, and you'll be glad you did. Thank you all so very much for being here. I'm hanging in there like a hair on a biscuit. Hello, everybody out there in the Visual Disturbance community. That's a little inside joke. It's been a long time since I've said hanging in there like a hair on a biscuit. Go back and watch some programs I talked about that 2 years ago. No joke, that happened. But anyways, folks, welcome to the channel. Today it's going to be a short and sweet daily what ifs. We're going to be talking about UFOs, bases under the oceans. Now what? That is a good question. And according to the account, Tim Burchett has been at the forefront of trying to bring out UFO disclosure and talking about these entities. And he's been in the mix of it. He's been throwing a lot of dirt and a lot of mud around in the Tennessee area. And my hat goes off to Tim Burchett. But let's just see what old Tim Burchett has to say in this video here. It's very intriguing. So stay tuned, watch this, and we're going to talk about it. So check this out with Tim Burchett.
What if these are entities that are here on this earth, that have been on this earth, that who knows how long, and that we think they're coming in from way out. Maybe they did millennia ago, but they're here and they're in these deep water areas, and that's why, I mean, like we say, we know more about the face of the moon than we do what's going on there. Now, we have a higher propensity of sightings around these 5 or 6, I believe, deep water areas, and so to me it just it creates a question there. And then when we have naval personnel telling me that we have these sightings and that there's these underwater craft they're chasing that are doing hundreds of miles an hour, and the best we've got is something that does maybe just a little under 40 miles an hour. So I got a lot of questions about that stuff, and
Well, folks, I have a lot of questions about it myself, but I want to throw my 2 cents in it, 2 cents in the pot here, talking about this particular topic. It makes you wonder about the Marine Kingdom. It makes you wonder about Aquaman, all those different, let's just say, movies that are in your face. Predictive programming and all that. But it makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder when it comes to Poseidon and all the Greek mythology and the things that are upon the water and under the water. But just throwing this out here, what if Thoth, when you go back to the Emerald Tablets and him talking about submerging from the water and teaching mankind the arts and all the different things that would manifestation. There's all kinds of stories about Thoth. There's all kinds of stories about certain types of deities, goddesses, and entities coming out of the water and bringing knowledge to man. So it makes you wonder. It really does. And what if there's anything to that? And one more thing to throw in the mix. Are we in Days of Noah 2.0? Was this stuff going on before Days of Noah? More than likely, pre-Adamic world. But what if, and here's the what if moment, what if there's something going on in the Bermuda Triangle? And there was a book not too long ago that I talked about it on the Bermuda Triangle program. We talked about dematerializing an individual that supposedly said that when a clairvoyant was talking about it. And it has to do with Eric Casey. And the clairvoyant went and found a gunman that went missing in the World War II narrative. A gunman went and disappeared and vanished. And without that, all of a sudden the clairvoyant individual found him years ago. And the individual started talking in some remote viewing, psychological, whatever it is, psychic mode. And said, "You wouldn't believe what happened to me. I dematerialized and I'm dead to your existence on your plane. But I'm alive here in the hollow earth." So what if there's something to that, folks? And what is going on under the ground? And what is going on in the oceans? And throughout antiquity and throughout all topography and maps, they talked about these ships. I'm not talking about UFOs. Ships would go disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle in different parts of the oceans. So what if there's something to this? And what if Tim Burchett is going to disclose something one day if they would stop doing the UFO Disclosure Act. I think that just got kind of vetoed, kind of got blocked recently. So what if any of this is true? What is going on under our waters, folks? The Tic Tacs, the different things. Is there a marine kingdom? Is there something there? Is there? But what if? One more what if before we leave. What if, because the Bible talked about a particular thing about the flesh being on the face of the earth. All flesh was destroyed on the face of the earth, according to the account of Noah in the biblical narrative. But what if the marine life, the aqua life, what if some of them still was alive? Because you're talking about the whales and the fish life, the dolphins are intelligent. What if man has went too far? What if we have a special thing? I wouldn't really call it special, hey, but Atlantis narrative or something to do with upgrading humans and they could survive under the water. What if? But anyways, folks, my goodness, where are we at and what kind of paradox are we living in? Is something getting ready to happen? What if? Welcome to the Daily What Ifs. See you on the next one. Visual Disturbance, I am out of here.